Hello, Apple Group. Welcome to your new sort. Make sure that I've given back your notebook, your new set of words, and your schedule. Get your schedule glued into your notebook, and we're gonna get started. So this week you're gonna be learning some more suffixes. Remember, suffixes go at the end of words. You're gonna be learning 3 specific suffixes this week. The first one is the suffix ness. It's actually a noun, meaning it's a person, place, a thing, or an idea. These are going to be ideas. And it means a state of being, so how something is. Next, we have ful as our suffix. This is an adjective. An adjective is a word that describes something. And ful describes something as being full of or having. So if you're beautiful, ful at the end of beautiful, you are full of beauty, you have a lot of beauty. Next, I have less. This is also an adjective, which means it's describing something. And this suffix means without. So if something is, for example, thoughtless, you did that without thinking. There was no thought there. You also have a category for combination this week. That means that if there's a word that has 2 of these suffixes together, you would put it in the combination group. So let's get started. Some of these words you might not know the definition of, so make sure you pay close attention to that. My first word is friendliness. My suffix is ness, so it's going to go here. Friendliness is your idea of being friendly to other people. Next up, I have tactful. My suffix is ful. Tact is if you have the ability to kind of be appropriate, to be well behaved. So if you are tactful, it means you're very good at being appropriate. You're very good at talking to people. You're very behaved. If you are tactless, it means you have none of that. You don't know how to behave. You don't know how to talk to people. Maybe you're someone who laughs when someone tells you something really sad, okay? So that would be tactless if you have no tact. If you're tactful, it means you're really good at talking to people, behaving, understanding what's going on. I also have scoreless. My suffix is less. Less means without, so that's without a score. There is no score yet. I have attentiveness. My suffix is ness. Attentive means paying attention to something. So attentiveness is if you are paying attention. Okay, this is the state of being attentive. Next, I have flawless. My suffix is less. Less means without. So flaw is like a mistake or something wrong. So flawless means there's no mistakes, nothing is wrong. You are without mistakes, without things that are wrong. I next have thoughtless. My suffix is less. Without. Thoughtless is without thought. I also have flawlessness. Notice this is my first combination. I have ness, but I also have less. So I both have the state of being something and without. So flawlessness is going to go here. Flawless means that you are without flaws, meaning you are perfect. Flawlessness means that right now, this item right here is flawlessness. There is nothing wrong with it. It is currently being flawless. Next, I have priceless. It ends with less. That's going to go here. Priceless means there is no price. Literally, it means without a price, but we know that people use it in our society to say something that is so important to you that you couldn't put money, like a money value on it, okay? Next up, we have respectful. Ful is my suffix. It means full of or having respect. Fruitless, my suffix is less. Without fruit, meaning without something going well. People will sometimes say like, oh, my effort to be kind was fruitless, meaning they tried to be kind, but it wasn't working. Nothing was coming out because of it. Next, we have politeness. My suffix is ness. So I'm going to put that here. It means that you are currently being polite. Tactlessness. My suffix is ness, but be careful. My suffix is also less. So this is another combination. Tactless, we talked about already, means that you are kind of inappropriate in social settings. You don't really know how to handle that. So this is you currently are being inappropriate in settings. That's what tactlessness is. Okay, you don't know how to do it. You're currently being not appropriate in public settings. Fanciful, my suffix is ful. This fancy would be my base word. So fanciful is you are full of or you have something very fancy. Disgraceful, my suffix is ful. Disgrace is if you're really embarrassing, you do something really wrong. So that's full of doing something wrong or having a lot of disgrace, meaning that's not a good thing. Rigorousness, my suffix is N-E-S-S. Okay, so rigorous means something being difficult. So that means that the state of being right here is being rigorous. It's being difficult. Next up, I have thoughtlessness. I have N-E-S-S, but I also have L-E-S-S. That's a combination. Thoughtless means to have no thoughts. Ness means my state of being. So this is right now you are thoughtlessness. You're not doing any thinking. You are being right now someone who has no thoughts. Next up, I have bountiful. It ends with F-U-L. This actually base word is bounty. It ends with a Y, the base word. And bounty is like all the things that you have. So you would say someone is bountiful if they had a lot of items. Things are going really well for them. I also have emptiness, N-E-S-S. My base word is empty. So my state of being is, there is emptiness. This right here is empty. Next, I have breathless. My suffix is L-E-S-S. Means without. So without breath, you are not breathing. Let me back that up. Next up, I have delightful. My suffix is F-U-L. It's going to go here. Delight is like being really great, nice, kind. Delightful is being full of that. Next, I have looseness. My suffix is N-E-S-S. It's the state of being loose. So this is looseless right now. Right now, this is loose. Next, I have massiveness, N-E-S-S. Again, massive is something really, really, really large. So it's saying that right now, this is something that's really, really large. Next, I have tactless, L-E-S-S. Without, tact, again, is... Oh, here we go. Look, tactless means you are without tact. Tact is the ability to behave in public, understand people, talk to them. Here you have tactful, meaning you have a lot of that. You're very good at being in public, very good at behaving. Here you have tactlessness, which is both a combination of you are without tact all the time. That is what you are. Next, we have insightful, which is my suffix F-U-L. It's going to go here. Insight means that you're good at understanding what's going on behind the scenes, seeing what other people don't see. Insightful means that you are full of that. You are doing that very well. So before we move on, I do want to point out one pattern that you need to notice this week. That one pattern has to do with some of my base words. So if you look at this word right here, my base word is massive. I don't do anything to massive in order to add N-E-S-S. All I do is add N-E-S-S. That's what most of your words this week are going to be. If you would look at looseness, you're not changing the spelling of loose in order to add ness. If you look at delightful, you're not changing the spelling, of delight in order to add F-U-L. You're just adding it, okay? The same goes for fruit. You're not changing the spelling of fruit in order to add less. You're just adding it. The same even goes for these double or combination words. My base word is thought. You're just adding your two suffixes. You're not changing the spelling. Now, if you notice these words I just did, this ends in an E, ends in an E, ends in a T, and a T. Okay, this also applies to words like flawless, though. My base word is flaw. I just add it. My W is a consonant. Okay? In delightful, my T is a consonant. In fruitless, my T is a consonant. In thoughtlessness, my T is a consonant. I also have words that end in E. So this week, if a word ends in E, a base word, or a base word ends in C, you don't do anything to it. You just add the suffix. Now, look at fanciful. My base word is actually fancy. Fancy is spelled F-A-N-C-Y. So in order to add my suffix, I cross off my Y, I erase it. I have to add an I, and then I add my suffix. So when your base word ends in a Y, you delete the Y, and you add an I before you add your suffix. That's the same in bounty. Okay? Bounty is spelled B-O-U-N-T-Y. In order to make it bountiful,